excuse me. Now, let me move towards the initiative that we have taken. The two major initiatives that we have taken, one is color-coded zoning map, and next is this NOCAS, No Objection Certificate Application System. We'll talk about both of them. In the first, you can see the map with various colors. That is what is known as color-coded grid maps. There are various grids, and those grids are with different colors. We'll talk about what this grid mention and how to use it, and why it makes it easy for the people or for the user to apply. And we'll talk about NOCAS. If we talk about this CCZM, just you show a snapshot of that. In fact, online we can show also for various airports. What a applicant has to do, locate the grid site in CCZM. Like, you don't need any advisor or anybody to guide you how much height is applicable for your site or for your, you can say, plot. Just locate the plot and site in CCZM and identify the grid map. How do you locate? You should know your coordinates, because the coordinates are given in the grid. Your X coordinate and Y coordinate. Home grid where the plot is, your plot is located. And you can correlate the color. For every color, there is a height is mentioned there is a column down below where the height, what height is applicable in each grid, it is mentioned. So you can easily make out what height is applicable for your site where it is located. And then if the color, you have seen in the center there is red color. So if the color of the home grid is red, it means these are those zones where it is mandatory. Other areas, there is no need to apply for NOC, where if your area falls in those red areas or red zone, then you have to apply for no objection certificate. I'll talk about that later, how you do it, and it is very simple. And then how to calculate your height, because in aviation, we deal the height in AMSL, above mean sea level. So you have to see what height is applicable in above mean sea level and deduct your site height, site elevation in mean sea level. Then you get the height that you will get in your particular site. So how to interpret the second part? This concerned local bodies can approve based on this grid map, CCZM map. Concerned local bodies like municipalities, they can approve requested elevation if it is below the CCZM height. It is so simple. And if the desired height is more than the CCZM permitted level, suppose in your grid the height applicable is say 40 meter or say 50 meter, if it is more, then you have to apply online application system, that NOCAS. This, and we have two types of grid, this CCZM. One is a PDF form, and we have issued for 22 airports. And the decision was taken, all those cities where population is more than 1 million and it is a civil airport, airport authority will issue grid maps. So this CCZM maps for 22 airports are already available in AI website. And one is the PDF and another one is interactive. In the interactive map, if you select an interactive map, you take the cursor to a particular grid, it will give the height that you will get in that. That is the height that you are eligible without any problem, without anything. You can just, without any no objection certificate, without any NOC. And in fact, another important task we have done, that is integration of this CCZM with the local urban bodies. We have integrated it with Mumbai and Delhi. So if you go to the Mumbai MCGM website, you can see the heights applicable. The grid map is superimposed on that. So you can select any site and you will be getting the applicable height that you are eligible with respect to the airport. Why ease of doing business? How it is easy? You can see that NOC for height clearance is not required for the building up to CCZM or permitted top elevation. So this has been included in the GSR also. And then whole area around the airport is divided. If you go to the CCZM, it is 1 minute by 1 minute, which is 1.7 kilometer by 1.7 kilometer, one box. And so it is easy to locate your site. And then the ELBs may approve the construction of structure as per existing building regulation in accordance with the height specification provided in CCZM. So the NOC from Airports Authority is not required. And local and municipal town planning development authorities can plan their development. Now, for planning, they have to ask us what height is applicable, so now they can plan whatever height they would wish to allow in particular area based on these CCZM maps. So yesterday, in fact, we had some discussion about when we talked about airport development, there was a talk that for everything, for developing an airport, because aviation is a central subject, so we have to go to central, and for development, for other issues, you have to go to the state for land and other issues. So to cater to that issues, now we have made a single window clearance for this, in fact for the other system also. So an applicant, instead of coming to AI also, they can apply on the local bodies, suppose under the single window clearance in the common application form. They need not come to airport authority, they need not apply there. They can apply there, automatically it will come to our system and we'll respond to that. So this is how we made it simple. And let us talk of the other system, NOCAS, where you apply for NOC online. I would like to mention before I talk about the NOCAS system, initially we tried for this system in 2008 and it was not that successful, though it was implemented, but it was not successful, it was not fully automated. So it is to be done manually. And for those who were associated with construction industries earlier, all these NOC issues was handled at Airports Authority of India headquarters. You can imagine the number of applications that would pour in from all over India. So it was very, very difficult to handle, and the workload was too high. And the case was getting delayed, months and years also, because there is to be a queue, first come, first serve. And to get rid of this, first thing we did is decentralize, that I talked about you, decentralize the issuance of NOC. Now NOC is not issued from Airport Authority headquarters, it is issued from 9 centers located at 9 major cities, including Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, and Ahmedabad, Nagpur, Guwahati, and Bangalore. You can imagine how easy it has become. And now this is online system. One has to apply online. There is no need to come to Airport Authority offices or go anywhere. And just to inform you, this was commissioned last year. In fact, it started functioning from 1st of January 2016 and inaugurated by Honorable Civil Aviation Minister and developed in-house by Airport Authority in collaboration with ISRI, that is I&II. So if you are a user, there is another facility. If you want to see, instead of, if you can see it in CCZM, but without CCZM also you can see for planning purposes what is the approximate height that you will get. You can just feed your coordinates. There is a tab, see approximate height for planning purpose. You put your coordinates there and you get the height that you will get. So no need to go to any consultants or anybody. You can easily get whatever height will be, but it will not be exactly accurate. You may get little more height, but you get a fairly good idea how much height will be eligible for your site. So how easy it is. And then application is online. You just register and file online, and all the documents are to be uploaded online. And no hard copies are required. It is a paperless system. And in some areas, which has been defined, like I tell you, if it is located beyond 56 kilometers of an airport, then automatically it is settled. Suppose your site is located beyond 56 kilometers of any IFR airport, the airports where instrument flight rules are there, I mean, instruments are there, instrument procedures are there. If the height is below 150, it is automatically cleared. So you'll get a message that NOC is not required. We call it auto-settled. So this is as simple as that. And similarly, if it is a VFR field like the airport where there is no navigational aids, and we call it a VFR airport. So if it is located beyond 20 kilometers from a VFR airport, then it will be auto-settled. If it is less than 150, you will get the height. And then you can say, in this, India is the first country in the world to make it fully automated. Because for calculating NOC, just to have an idea, there are 3 criteria that is considered. Though it is very technical, I am not going into details. One is, we call it the OLS, I told you. These are the various surfaces which are to be protected. And then another one is with respect to flight procedures. All the flight procedures, flight operates, for them, the criteria is there to be protected. The flight paths of the aircraft are to be protected. We call it PAN-SOPS criteria. And the third criteria is we call it CNS. Okay. So in this criteria, what we do, we ensure that navigational aids, all these service volumes of all the navigational aids are protected. So all these calculations are done automated. In other countries, this CNS and PANSOPS criteria are not done automatically. It is done manually, and person has to do manually. And you can see how easy it is. Like, it is fully transparent, no scope for any corruptions. Applicant are not required to visit AI offices, and applicant will get all the information through SMS and email updates. And NOC letters are issued electronically. And then there are provisions for, you can download all the NOC, you can see, view all the NOC that has been issued. It is very transparent system, all available online, the NOC issued. And any member of ULBs like municipalities, they can also view all the NOCs which are available. Their login is not required for that. And we can do the, we can analyze data generation and integration of portals like we have integrated with Delhi and Mumbai. And we have already invited other ULBs to integrate it. And we have put in our website what are the requirements for integration. And before I conclude, I think we talk a little bit about the synergy between airports and the city to achieve sustainable development. It's very important because our next topic is on this. So Airport Authority is not only air navigation service provider, but it is an airport operator, and we are working very closely with the industry which are associated with the airport. So under the initiative of Honorable Minister of State who visited here, a committee was constituted to look into the other issues of NOC which concern of the industry like CREDAI, NAREDCO and PIETA. So we worked with them. In fact, a committee, that committee worked very closely with these three bodies, and we met 3 times, and we finalized our recommendations based on the requirement of the industry and based on the, you can say, what is possible, taking into account the safety and regularity of operation. And we have submitted the recommendation, which has been accepted by Airport Authority, and it will be, you can say, submitted to the ministry very soon. And these are about, you can say, vertical tolerance, revision of some criterias and all. With this, I think the time is running out. I'll conclude, and this concludes my presentation. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Could I request Sadak Chaudhary, CEO PPP Experts, to please present a memento to Mr. Satyajit Datta, Joint General Manager, ASM, Airport Authorities of India. So please accept this as a token of gratitude. Thank you so much. Well, we continue. The session will be on promoting synergy between airports and cities to achieve sustainable development, moderated by Mr. Shobhit Agarwal, Managing Director, Capital Markets at JLL. Panel consists of Mr. Satyajit Datta, again, Joint General Manager, ASM, Airports Authority of India. Mr. T. Mohan Chandran, Advisor, Aerodynamics and ex-DGCA, Deputy Director, Aerodrome Designs and Licensing. He was with us yesterday as well. Then we would be having Dr. Dinkar Samant, Advisor, SIDCO and Panvel Municipal Corporation on City Development Plan. And Madam Manjula Nayak, Senior Town Planner, SIDCO, Urban Planner, working with SIDCO. And Mr. Vijay Kumar Soma, Chief General Manager, Transport and Airport, SIDCO. Could I request the session moderator, Mr. Shobhit Agarwal, and the panelists to kindly take their seats on the dais. And as the head table is being set, I will start with my introduction so as to save on some time there. Well, Shobhit is here already. Welcome, Shobhit. Shobhit Agarwal, Managing Director, Capital Markets, JLL, heads the capital markets business of JLL in India and is part of APAC Capital Market Strategy Team, has over 12 years of experience in property finance and investment sector and is responsible for overseeing major cross-border real estate transactions. He has worked with several large real estate developers, investors and funds, advising them on strategic planning and investment strategies. Currently, he is an active member of the advisory committee that guides SEBI, the Security and Exchange Board of India, for REIT listings in India. Mr. Mohan Chandra, he was with us yesterday. I just introduced Mr. Satyajit Datta, who we heard some time back. For the benefit of those who were not with us yesterday, let me quickly take you through Mr. Mohan Chandra's brief profile. One of the rare aviation professionals with an exposure, competency, and opportunity to conduct audits, inspection, checks for airline engineering facility, including component overhaul and testing, airline operations, including cabin crew and weight and balance sections, aerodrome facility, including CNS and air traffic control, ATC. He has worked with Directorate General of Civil Aviation for over 18 years in different capacities and departments, has dealt with multinational consultants for international aerodromes, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Delhi, and Mumbai International Airport. As an inspecting officer, he works on new initiatives for sustainable aviation business. Then we have with us Dr. Dinkar Samant, advisor CIDCO and Panvel Municipal Corporation on City Development Plan. Welcome, sir. Madam Manjula Naik, Senior Town Planner, CIDCO. She's an urban planner working with CIDCO for 20 years now and currently working on NENA, that is a Notified Area for Airport Influence Project. Mr. Vijay Kumar Soma, Chief General Manager, Transport and Airport, CIDCO, earlier posted as Additional Chief Transportation Engineer, CIDCO. With those introductions, I leave charge of this session to our moderator, Mr. Shobhit Agarwal. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction, and I want to thank the panel for being here. It's a very eclectic panel. You know, we have got people from aviation authorities, airport designers, and city planners. It's strange that I'm moderating this panel. I'm myself a urban planner, probably a field urban planner. I never practiced urban planning. So it's quite interesting. And this panel is all about how airports and cities are going to be talking to each other, how they're going to be synergized. It's never been more pronounced that our cities today are being defined by the airports it has. In fact, if you look at some of the Middle East countries, I mean, I don't think we've ever visited a railway station. I don't even know if Dubai has a railway station. See, the entire sort of air traffic or transportation is all air-based, and it's getting even more complex. Since we have the panel from Bombay, I think it's a very unique situation where a new city is being designed, is giving a chance to design new airport. It's much talked about. I think everybody in Bombay coming in, going out has experienced air traffic. So obviously it's a very welcome thing that a new airport is being planned. Let me just straight go to Mr. Vijay Kumar, who's from CIDCO, to say such a unique opportunity that not only are we designing a new city, but we are also designing a new airport. What are some of the challenges that you're facing in terms of how you're going to go about? I think this airport is much needed. We were thinking it's going to come in 2019. Now we are told it's coming in 2020. But I think all eyes are on it. Big investments are going that way. There's a very famous quote saying, airport moves out of the city follows, and airport becomes a new city. So really we are looking at New Bombay or a new city coming up around this airport. What are some of the challenges? And are we going to be able to see the new airport on time?
Yeah. Good morning to all of you. As many people in Mumbai and Navi Mumbai, almost all parts of India, definitely tracking the progress of Navi Mumbai airport, at least I think since the last couple of years, 5 to 7 years. But CIDCO, as a pioneer in the development of Navi Mumbai, has been taking care of the city. CIDCO basically has been developed as a new city, which is going to support the existing Mumbai, so that the congestion which is happening in Mumbai gets relieved and automatically a supplementary city to be created where people will have almost the work and housing and work and life socio-economic balances. So we have achieved on many fronts the development of a new city, which does not only act as a supplementary. Since 90s, CIDCO has been promoting a lot of transportation infrastructure for the new city. And then since 90s, with the introduction of the railway lines in Navi Mumbai, that's all CIDCO, with the pure CIDCO efforts of pioneering and getting the railways into the Navi Mumbai, which otherwise could have come only in the next couple of decades. So CIDCO has to do every time a lot of innovations and creativity and planning to make Navi Mumbai more life actually, and to bring the realistically. So once the infrastructure started moving to Navi Mumbai, then there was a momentum for the people to come over there. And in the last 5 to 7 years now, we are seeing it's becoming a almost, we can't say counter magnet, but you will find that most of the people are now moving towards Navi Mumbai with the advanced facilities which are available. And with the advanced infrastructure which is already planned by CIDCO well in advance, the flyovers, ROBs, everything in advance before the traffic really moved into the Navi Mumbai. With the same objective, actually, CIDCO started to create a small airport in Navi Mumbai in those days, 1990s. Then we did a small feasibility study through the rights, and then ultimately airstrip was just reserved just to have a domestic airport in Mumbai, in Navi Mumbai, to cater to the Maharashtra state itself. Then a lot of studies have been carried out by the government, and there was a need to consider a second airport. And since we have a land, it's close to Navi Mumbai, so we went with the open idea, why don't we have a Navi Mumbai airport as an international airport? So these were the directives at the high-level committees. So the committees set up by governments actually have looked into the various options of locating a second airport for the Mumbai. In those days, to be frank with you, when we were doing the traffic forecast and discussing with the airport authority officials, I mean, having anything beyond 20 millions is not easy task for the people in those days to understand that Bombay will exceed even 20 million passengers per annum. So this was the debates when we started for the second airport in Navi Mumbai. Bombay was moving in the range of 10 to 11 million passengers per annum. So it was very hard and difficult to believe for the people to understand more than 20 millions is difficult to achieve in Mumbai. So based on the econometric models and everything, we have been trying to convince the committees that even you do a 5.5% CAGR, so you require about 100 millions by the time the traffic in the next 30 years. So ultimately, with a lot of discussions, debates, and then we did our first study, to be frank with you, the techno-economic feasibility study was done by CIDCO purely internally. And then we submitted to the Airport Authority of India and then Minister of Civil Aviation. Our first traffic figures were somewhere in the range of 70 million passengers per annum. So with one runway, airports all over the world that everybody knows can't survive more than 40, 50 million passengers per annum. So this is how the actually traffic statistics went on, and huge debates and huge discussions. Ultimately, I mean, CIDCO has been anchoring the project right from the beginning and trying to provide whatever is really required for making enabling a second airport in Navi Mumbai. That's how the last milestone was also to get a simulation study carried out in Navi Mumbai, because both the airports in single airspace is not there in India so far. So Airport Authority has raised a concern over that. To have a single airspace, 2 airports, we need to carry out a simulation study. So through the NACO, that was also carried out, and then ultimately the in principle was given by the Minister of Civil Aviation through AA. Once we got in 2007 the in principle approval, then we started taking all the steps to bring the project on priority. As you know, everybody, that the projects of in India, the mega projects which comes through the major approvals which are required, like the defense clearance, the environment clearance, and the forest clearance. So these clearances, fortunately, unfortunately, they don't have the timelines actually. We'll have to move with them, you have to submit them, then you'll have to, because they are the different governments and they are different sectors of development stakeholders actually. So they don't talk to each other. So it is a one-way pain is you'll have to move to get the approvals. So we have been with the all various government authorities. Approvals are taking a time actually. It took a long time than expected by CIDCO. So with the all approvals, I think we got somewhere in 2007. Immediately when we got the approvals in 2007, And then we started really creating a OLS map, which Mr. Datta sir was saying actually. We were in consultation with the Airport Authority of India. Sir, it was a great help at all times from Airport Authority of India. So we did the OLS map basically, and then we started informing all the stakeholders in Navi Mumbai. The challenge is not only SITCO, because there are areas up to 20 kilometers, the local authorities. So we need to intimate to all these authorities to honor the heights of the OLS map, and then we started intimating them, and each and every building in Navi Mumbai has come up as per the OLS map of Navi Mumbai. So ultimately in 2010 we got the environment clearance, and then ultimately it was came through the notification of the AI in 2011 if I remember. So since then, as per the act, up to 20 kilometers, and then we have also started the no-cause with the help of AI. So now we are completely following everything on the CAD platform and then the no-cause. Each and every building has got the same heights which are required as per the OLS norms. This is one front on the challenges of how the city is really going to, as sir was explaining, that you can have a city, plan everything, but if you have obstructions, airport cannot come on. So we didn't have the airport actually in those days, approvals, but it was a challenge for us to really start implementing these rules, legally, because people started challenging us. There's no airport here, there's no approval, so why are you really controlling the heights here? Mr. Samant must be knowing, he was heading that planning department. So we used to have these internal debates actually. So ultimately we started controlling before the, approvals came into SITCO, literally, and then we started controlling. So we were preparing the city to get an airport in the future, so that it becomes, what we're feeling is an interaction or synergy between the city development and airport. So in Navi Mumbai, luckily SITCO was the planning authority, so city development, and also the promoter of airport. So both were with the SITCO itself. So there's challenges for less if you compare to like BMC or MMRD and then Airport Authority of India or other places. So that way we are fortunate. So we are trying to control everything. Now after getting all the approvals, I think you're all aware now the stage 2 clearance for the airport has also come through. And then actually we were facing some of the challenges on the land acquisition, to be frank with you. The land acquisition and the rehabilitation resettlement. These issues are common in all mega projects and also the CRZ areas. Any site which is selected in Mumbai metropolitan region is definitely going to have some sort of CRZ area and also the mangroves. But the law is very strict that we'll have to follow the due diligence of the systems to get an approvals, then only we'll be able to do a site. So parallelly the site is also proposed to be taken on a PPP model, this Union Cabinet approval. So for that also we started bidding somewhere in 2014. So after doing a continuous due diligence of the two-stage process for the PPP, that's RFP and then RFQs, both the stages we have recently completed, and the award will be done also soon after the state cabinet approval. So what I'm trying to complete is, now we have gone through all the challenges which are required for the mega project. These unique challenges. I don't think any projects even in the worldwide had so many challenges and getting so many approvals, because the foreigners have also visited, they openly appreciated the efforts taken by SITCO. So after getting all these approvals, now we have started the land development works. But we are trying to build the airport in two stages in the interest of reducing the timelines. One is that up to 5.5 meters above mean sea level, SITCO is filling up the basic civil works. And over that, then concessionaire will come over and he will fill up to 2.5 meters, because he will have to lay a lot of runways and fuel hydrants and all these things. From 8 meters, he will be building up his terminal buildings and runways and taxiways. So this is a combined plan. SITCO actually made into two, in the sense that we do a land filling and then hand it over to the concessionaire in the interest of bringing the timelines. Of course, there are challenges in getting the really timelines done, but we are feeling that the concession should be in place by the end of the December. In another 3 years, then he should be able to do one runway, and with the minimum terminal building which we have mandated is a 10 million. So expected capacity based on today's requirement is in the range of 20 millions. So we don't know the concessionaires plans actually, but he'll build definitely more than 10, somewhere about 15 to 20. And then he will commence with one runway and the minimum terminal facilities what is required. As per the traffic forecast, we must be able to cater to 6 millions in the first year itself. So with that minimum, he should be able to commence in the next 3 years. I know, I appreciate that, the city took long time because the challenge is purely beyond the control of SITCO. And also beyond the control of the governments also, to be frank with you, because they are statutory approvals. After getting everything, I think now we are seeing the light, maybe another 2019 to 20. At least first flight should take off from Navi Mumbai. Thank you.
Excellent. Just one related question, is the land fully acquired? We hear a lot of talk saying either the runway is not there or the airside, land for the airside development is not there. Is this correct or?
No, yeah, I'll explain. There was actually 75% land was with Citco before the plan, because these lands which we acquired Citco very long back, not now actually. Once the airport has approved by the government somewhere in 2007, prior to that we have been following with the government to get the land acquired when we initially thought of the proposal in 2001. Since you are all aware that land compensation package was very meager in the old act, so though no land acquisition was happening in Navi Mumbai or anywhere else, I mean to be frank with the Navi Mumbai, there was not even an inch of land which is happening. So this is a very stumbling block. So when we got the approvals, then immediately we started moving with the PAPs. We called them, we discussed with them what are their wish list and everything. The wish list is that, I mean, you will be never able to do a project also. The wish list is that they wanted 50 crores per hectare when that doesn't cost even less than a crore per hectare. So we told them getting about 25% of the land is about 200 hectares. So 200 hectares multiplied by 50, I mean, there's no project here. So then we need to convince them. Luckily, Citco has a land bank. So we convince them indirectly, we'll give a land for land, which will give you the high returns maybe after 10, 15 years. So fortunately, so that was a success. After that only land acquisition status started moving. And your last question is about land acquisition status. Today we can say that land consents we have got 100%. Okay, out of 294 land acquisition, 200 already we have taken possession. Another 94 is in the process. Consents we got it. It's like, you know, land allotments we are doing it, and it's a process. Maybe another couple of months we should be able to get the 100%.
Thank you. I think that's a very detailed sort of answer. Very quickly moving to you, Mr. Chandran. We've heard all these very complicated approval processes, environment, defense, and forest. And on top of that, then he's got acquisition issues. Then you've got mangroves, you've got villager resettlement, marshy land, bird sanctuaries. Is this, or was this the right location to begin with? And was there an alternative that could have been done much faster? I mean, 2020 is almost 15 years from the day you started even thinking, in fact, 3 decades to get to this stage. Was this the right location, and how could they have done this better? Because this is just a, it's an example of how a city can be held up for the lack of airport. I mean, we would have all been hoping to get it in 2010, right? So what are the challenges?
Namaskaram to all. Yes, the very tricky questions actually put up to me. Now it's airport is coming up, and now we're talking about the site. Anyway, it is already informed that now it is 20 years dream to be real, to be reality soon. So we see that nowadays it is a 1997 project, and today now 2010, now actually it is the site was cleared for construction. It has taken 13 years to debate on the site, and after that now it is another 7 years gone. Now the airport is coming up, okay, and another I don't know how many years, maybe 3 years. And the full capacity maybe another 5 years, 6 years is already been Citco has informed. So what is it? We plan for yesterday's dream, and we execute and make it reality for tomorrow, that yesterday's dream only. We are not planned, and we are continuing with even today. And today, the biggest problem for the site is, it started with 20 million, and now it is struggling for even to 60 million. And now the 60 million is already reached in Mumbai airport. So that it is not yesterday's dream only, we are making it to make it reality. And it's very difficult even to make it to 60 million to 100 million, and they don't have land banking. So it's very difficult to move on to the future. Even move on to the today's requirement, it's very difficult to move on, because we have wasted, the timeline has gone more than 20 years in deciding an alternative secondary airport, which is really required, and that point of time, it could have been done in by 3 years. It is really that the vision of the state government would have played very important role. That's why even the Dr. Irfan has clearly mentioned that it is the first, how it was successful, it is the vision of the government. Here the vision of the government is what now today. We are 20 years down, we are living for the yesterday's dream. So that is the main. And again for the site, I don't want to comment on the site because the site is today, whatever it is being planned, it is only for yesterday's requirement of forecast, and it cannot go beyond the today's requirement of that is the site. And it is more than the technical, it is the political will is playing in India that we are aware. And we can't talk on site, but now that this 20 years delay of this site, it is indirectly pushed this Mumbai airport to go for additional equipment, instrument equipment, to expedite the movement of this aircraft. That is the fundamental requirement for the airport to operate, to increase the capacity, the load for the 20 years it has been increased. By increasing that, the number of equipment and the instrument, okay, that expedite the movement, that congestion to decongest, the lot many, the losses for the airlines for the, it is, due to congestion, and also a lot of the pressure for the ATC people to walk on the congested area. And the thirdly, now today we're talking about the synergy about the construction group. Now that how the construction group is affected. Last 20 years, whatever the instrument equipment, it has been now implemented and enforced at that Mumbai airport. Any is affecting that height which is required for the Mumbai city. The construction, any equipment installed, additional equipment installed at the Mumbai airport will bring down the height, that limiting the height of the building construction. The Mumbai, the city where the height is the prime importance for the construction. There is no horizontal development can take place, and that now the height is further is reduced because of there is no secondary airport has come in time. So that it is indirectly affected the construction group that is not visible to everyone. If you see, analyze properly, that is, the many equipment could have been avoided to come at the Mumbai airport. Had it been that this airport is planned and executed well in time, and that's what the today's affected party is also the construction group, and affected party also the congestion movement of airline, losing many, we are talking about the economic. The economic of India is not losing in the air. So this is what we are not planned in advance. So we always lived with that yesterday's dream. So let us come out with that to live actually for today and plan for tomorrow's requirement. Thank you.
Thank you. So, very well summarized, saying that, because of the limitations of land aggregation and approvals. Yes, sure. I'll bring you in. I think Mr. Kumar has some comments.
I just want to, clarify what regarding the traffic figures which we spoke actually. What I'm saying is what we are planning is about 20 million passengers per annum. And this airport can cater, as per the design capacities today, is about 60 million passengers per annum. So we are having 2 runways which are going to be simultaneously operated, and in the sense that we will have landing and takeoff on both the runways, because both are more than 1 kilometers, which is required as per the ICAO norm. So we have about 1.55 kilometers. So you will have free landing and takeoff on both the runways. If you are looking for a practical capacity, the difference is that Bombay airport, theoretically, sir will appreciate it should be in the range of 25 to 30 with a comfortable level of service. So today he is spilling over about 45 millions. He will move over with a lot of congestion. So the practical capacity which is touching for each runway is in the range of 45 to 50 millions, which is the world's largest airport with Heathrow, with 1 runway which handled about 50. So we are not debating that up to 50 into 2 will be 100. But instead of 60, we are saying that we can cater up to 80 million passengers per annum, plus Bombay with another 45 to 50, so it becomes 130 million passengers per annum, which is going to be unimaginable task in the next 30 years. Today, all over India, we don't handle more than one. Today's all over India traffic is in the range of 150, 160 millions. So this would survive as a futuristic airport, And then we don't advocate Navi Mumbai is the only solution. You have the Pune is coming up now, Purandar Airport. The traffic is going to take care of these two airports in a big way. This is our vision actually, my submission.
Thank you. Very quickly, I think we have limitation on time. I'm going to move to Mr. Datta. You were making a presentation on saying how approval process for developers are becoming faster. But before I get there, I have three observations. One, we are saying that our current airport is delayed. I heard him saying 2020 is the first flight that can take off. There are planning and design challenges which are being overcome or are getting there. That basically means that for the next 4 or 5 years, we are still going to be dependent on Bombay Airport. What is going to happen to Bombay Airport with current capacity at 45 million? I don't know how many landings can be increased. There was talks of Juhu Airport getting revived, and if that gets revived, what happens to all the real estate around it? And what are the factors ultimately that will determine? I think Bombay is arrested by the height. Every project that we talk about, we start with some height, then it goes down, approval slaps, and after you reapply, the height actually goes down. I'm wondering how anybody can plan a city like this. And it is the biggest city, it's the gateway to India. How do you handle this situation? You are looking at designs, you've designed many airports. What's going to happen to Bombay? Given all the limitations that CITCO has, and we have to live with this airport for at least 5 more years as the primary airport to Bombay.
Hello. That's a very difficult question.
It's
It is
also
true.
as a user that we are asking, how does this work?
Yeah, sure. Because, we have a unique challenge in Mumbai compared to cities like Delhi, maybe Kolkata or other major airports, where city is not really growing vertically like Mumbai. So this is a challenge. We have to live with this challenge, and we have to handle this challenge. That is all I can say. And how we are handling it now, in fact, we are handling it. Like you gave few examples of height being reduced. These reductions, there could be few instances. Those could be because of, normally if it is located closer to the airport, it is because of navigational aids, service volumes of navigational aids. So it is restricted by that. Can you hear? Yeah, sorry. It is because of the service volume of navigational aids. Those are the main concerns. But during this interaction with the industries and all which we had under the aegis of ministry, under the direction of minister, honorable minister, we have taken a very bold step that height once granted through like the new procedures like GSR 751 will be saved. There will be saving. It will not be reduced. The first question you asked that sometime you get a less height. So number one decision that was been taken in that meeting or that fora is that it will not be reduced because the height has been approved by through due procedures, whatever following. Sometimes while you can say re-evaluating the height, because of in the meantime there could be some new facilities introduced. So if we evaluate through that, then the height could be restricted. But if the revision in height is applied within the validity period, it is never reduced. So that problem is sort of tackled as the first instances. And with regard to capacity that you talked about, so there are a lot of initiatives that Airport Authority in consultation with or in coordination with MIAL has taken for increasing, because in Mumbai we're using one runway. Like
Yeah, that's
ideally you should have parallel runway to have maximum capacity. And then there should be adequate number of exit taxi tracks, or we call it where the aircraft exit, we call it taxi tracks.
Absolutely.
So with the existing single runway, a lot of studies have been carried out, and a lot of these studies indicated how to reduce the runway, you can say occupancy time, we call it runway occupancy time. And then we introduced something called ACDM, Airport Collaborative Decision Making. So in that process, we involve all the stakeholders and then decide how the flights could take off as early as possible. There are various procedures. Everybody has to be on board and inform the times and all. We call it, I don't want to go into detail, we call it ACDM, Airport Collaborative Decision Making. We ensure through that procedure that no departure is delayed, but for arrival, of course, it is a different procedure. Arrival is not in that loop. And Airport Authority of India is introducing throughout the India, which is called is ATFM, Air Traffic Flow Management, where the air traffic flow management of whole of India will be controlled from Delhi, the command center. So through that, we'll try to reduce the delay in air so that the precious fuel is not lost in air, so for holding and all. So that is another initiative we have taken to reduce delays and all. Probably I have answered your queries or anything else.
You have. I'm just going to ask one related question just on Bombay. Why we not using helipads and we are not allowing helicopter services even between say Mumbai, New Mumbai? Every other city does it now. I mean, you can fly around New York even as a tourist. I mean, why is Bombay not encouraging? What is the problem with the helicopter services? Maybe I can land in Nasik and fly into Bombay. I'm not sure what solutions can come out, but what is the issue with the helipads?
Before I come to helipad, I think I missed one about Juhu. You talked about Juhu. So before I go to helicopter, I'll just speak briefly about Juhu. If two airports are located so close like Juhu and Mumbai, and in Delhi we have Delhi and Safdarjung, so it is very difficult to operate in two because the operation in one airport will affect the operation in another airport. If Juhu becomes fully operational with extended runway and all, then the capacity of, you can say, the combined Juhu and Mumbai will increase a bit, not much. Because what happens if you use the another runway, what additional time we get, that the moment the aircraft lands, you can release another aircraft. Normally now, if we use the single runway, unless the aircraft vacates the runway, the another aircraft cannot take off. So that is the advantage we will have. But I'm afraid I don't know whether the Juhu runway could be extended, which is a big challenge. The committee is looking into it, and it has been declared RCS. But reality, we all know, could be a challenge or may not become a reality. But anyway, this is government to decide. So I will not comment on that. And with respect to helicopter, in fact, helicopter has a huge potential in India and future in India. And government of India is giving a lot of push for that. And as far as the examples you gave, it is possible. If you look at from the air traffic management point of view, if it is not affecting the operations of the airport like Mumbai, then helicopter can operate. In fact, it is a very technical subject, but we have made separate routes for going to BKC and to various areas. We have made helicopter routes which is independent of operations at Mumbai, so that helicopter movements are not, you can say, affecting the Mumbai. And you can say Mumbai is such a stressed airport where capacity constrained airport. So we did that. It is possible. But if it is located very close to Mumbai, affecting Mumbai, those locations will not be, like in the approach path of any of these runways or takeoff path of any of these runways, the existing runways, those areas will not be allowed for operations.
But if all this has been planned out, what's keeping the approvals? Why are we not following and implementing that flight paths for helicopters?
I see, it is a matter of operators to come up with projects that they want to operate from X point to Y point. So as far as air traffic control is concerned, there is no issue at all, unless it is very close and it is affecting the movement of the bigger airports. Now also helicopter movement anywhere there is no restrictions from air traffic control view, I don't think, but approval from government and all is another process that one has to follow. But it is possible. It is possible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very quickly, I'll draw my last few questions to the city planners, Mr. Samant and Ms. Naik. We've heard you guys have designed multiple cities involved with Sitcon and Panvel. Are you getting enough inputs even prior to you implementing these plans? I mean, are we going to be faced with Mumbai-like situation where equipment is coming later and therefore impacting heights that were granted but now have to be reduced because of airport operations? Are we going to be facing similar problems? Are we already designing for those? Are we going to surpass these issues in the new city? Hopefully my new developer colleagues will not have to face these issues. What's going on?
Let me tell you, city was planned in 1972. An airport which has come in 2001, it is an afterthought. That's the first, let's accept that. If you see the Google imagery of the entire area, you will find lot of intertidal areas all around, lot of hills, forest, green areas. So as Vijay Kumar said, there was no other option. The site has to be there. Because it is an afterthought, initially what we designed and what we planned, and that time it was ground plus 14 and 15. I don't see a serious problem right now. The problem which has come, I will talk about two projects. One is a brownfield and one is a greenfield. The Navi Mumbai Corporate Park, which is coming in Kharghar, which is about 6 to 7 kilometer distance from the airport. It's a lifeline for Navi Mumbai because Navi Mumbai right now doesn't have its own commercial area. BKC2 is full. The Mumbai needs this kind of a commercial hub. When the airport is coming, when the MTHL is coming, Kharghar is the right destination, very well collected. For that, the height issue again will come, and I can see it's a robust common sense that there is a hill which is 200-meter high, just next to this site, Central Park. There is a golf course, there's a Central Park, there's a 300 hectares of corporate park. So the height is to be seen for this. The synergy which I see here, the main topic, to move the economic activity, there are complementary factors coming in. The site is right. The population has come to 20 lakh. So the height is to be seen at micro level, and whatever weightage has to be given for this project. That is regarding the greenfield one. There is a big issue of brownfield projects. In 75 to 80, a lot of low-cost housing is taken up by CITCO that time. And after 40, 45 years, those houses are in a very bad state and they need redevelopment. The government has issued a higher FSI of 2.5. But because of the height restriction, the consumption of this FSI is not possible. And these are not really very close to the airport. These sites are in Kalamboli and Panvel, about 8-9 kilometers on the northern side. And I see that this is again a housing about 40,000-50,000 housing to be redeveloped. So additional 30,000-40,000 housing will come. And there again we will need kind of a very professional and micro level study to get a height which can make these projects viable. Otherwise, it's a stalemate situation where FSI is given, but because the viability is not there, those 150, 160 square foot carpet area houses will remain as it is in a dilapidated state, where the government has issued the evacuation notice. It's a very, very urgent problem.
Can I bring in Mr. Datta? I mean, you've traveled, you've designed many airports. If you look at Hong Kong, 1 kilometer from the airport, or maybe 1.5, there are 30-story buildings. What stops us? Are we different from other nations? We are following different aviation rules. Why are we very different? And we can cite various examples, including Singapore, including Dubai, where very close to the airport you have very tall buildings. London has a 300-meter building, I think in the line of sight of the takeoff. Why are we struggling 4 kilometers, 7 kilometers from the airport? What's the challenge in India?
So this issue of high clearance is not different in different countries. Let me make it very clear. The guidelines is issued by I&II, that is International Civil Aviation Organization. We have Annex 14, Chapter 4, which talks about this. We call it OLS, Obstacle Limitation Surfaces. And the service volumes of these navigational aids is specified in another annex of I&II, which is known as Annex 10, and then various other documents. So the problem is these cities, like you have given some examples, maybe they are allowing penetration of surfaces, they are allowing obstructions of navigational aids. And so it is up to the government to make some rules, allow something like this, making exceptions. You can always make exceptions if it is of very national important project, and government of India has to decide. Because what we can do, today I can make BKC allow maybe 40-story or maybe 50-story. Then I have to see that no flight goes that side. Government has to decide, okay, this is priority of government. We can only tell how flights will be affected by studying. So there will be effect. So you have to decide what you want. Whether you want the flights to be affected or you want the building, or you can have a building at particular area, we can declare that as no-fly zone. But who is going to take this call? Because then it will affect operations, for sure. In Dubai, like the Burj Khalifa, so that is, the government has decided, government of Dubai has decided that, UAE has decided, it is to be done, and they have declared no-fly zone. So no aircraft is allowed there. Procedure is made in such a way that avoids that. So, but that is, you are affecting the procedures because of the government.
But in a greenfield situation, you can today decide, no, you already know the limitation. He's saying 45,000 houses need to be rehoused. Height is a challenge. You today haven't put the equipment in for Navi Mumbai. Why can't we just design it first with the city need, and then you can't say airport will rule? I mean, in this particular situation, Bombay may be different, but New Bombay, why are we limited by the airport? Airport is not even started yet.
That's, it's very interesting. So initially I told you, you have to decide two things. Either you want the airport or the city. So like we all know, once the airport develops, the city develops, and it becomes as if the airport, city is around the airport, or airport is at the center of the city. So for safe operations, it has been decided. It's not that I am deciding or anybody is deciding or airport authority is deciding. After a lot of research, those surfaces have been decided that how flight will be protected for landing. So the whole purpose is you have to bring the aircraft. Now it is flying high, you have to bring it down and make it land. If you do not allow it space to land, then how it is going to land? Then effective length will be less, and the type of aircraft will be less, that the capacity that he is talking about will be affected. So you have to decide what is more important. Since now we know how we have decided, because the runway has been planned, for deciding these surfaces, first we need the runway length, runway orientation, that has been decided for. CITCO knows that Navi Mumbai. Then only we have included. Suppose we don't do it, then all obstacle will come around, and tomorrow we'll find that the runway length has reduced, everything, all capacity, whatever they are investing, say 30,000 crore, whatever, 20,000 crore will go waste. So that you have to take a call, government has to take a call. Heights, we can be found out whatever the maximum permissible height, that we can very well tell. So based on that, they have to decide. Government has to decide what is priority, this airport or the city around. How much height is permitted.
Ma'am, one last and final word from you, since you're putting the pen to paper. All these issues that we've got from my left and my right, are enough input provided to you before you actually now sort of plan the city for 2040 or 2060? All these issues are well known, the Bombay experience, the Bangalore experience, where actually the travel time between, say, Bombay and Bangalore is actually increased because you put the airport 60 kilometers away. I just keep wondering, Chennai, Bangalore travel is actually better by car than to fly because of the travel times between it. So are you satisfied with all the inputs and you are able to make a good plan?
Yeah, I say that we have had enough cooperation with AI since in Navi Mumbai area, airport has come after. But then when the airport is in inception stage, the buildings are already surveyed, and for the upcoming buildings, we are knowing the height. But the influence area like in Naina, we already know which zone is under which height. So we have accordingly planned our IDP and DP of Naina accordingly. So from planner's point of view, I will say we have enough support and information from AI to plan the city.
Super. I'm not going to take too much time in summarizing. I'm going to ask if the audience has any questions, and if you want to come in for one final word.
So before that, the question I just want to add with the very important things for that. The rightly said, all the panel members, it is added as an afterthought. That is what today is happening. And we are talking about airport, and the question raised is also that the chairman has already asked for helipads and helipad operations. Today, we all know that Mumbai and the helipad facility is not available. We are struggling to find an helipad site within the Mumbai city. With the potential sites already given to the government is unable to take a decision because the sites are not available to that. It is not that heliport heliport is requiring around 30 acres if you want class 1 performance helipads. So if a small helipad, also 6 to 7 acres with all the OLS requirement for takeoff and landing. Today we are struggling to get that site within the existing city planning. So that's what we are requesting now, that all the town planners, is when you are planning now that new townships are coming, hubs are coming, technical parks are coming. So why don't you now plan, in addition to the roads, rails, why don't you give a prime importance of an alternative mode of transportation of an heliport, helicopter? There is the futuristic, it's all happening in other countries. Why can't we, at the initial master planning itself,